So hi, I'm Jim Morris. I'm one of the founding partners of Transformer Insights. We're here at Mobile World Congress, and it's an extremely busy day down here. It's great to catch up with Mike O'Brien, who is the Executive Vice President for Corporate and Business Development at iconectiv. And we're going to be talking a little bit about iconectiv.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us to speak, Jim. Appreciate it.
Well, it's great to be here. So could you tell us a little bit about iconectiv?
Sure.
Some background.
iconectiv is arguably the largest or most well-known authoritative data exchange platform in the communications market. And by that, we run routing and number portability and messaging authentication databases across the industry. It's one of our key areas of focus.
If you wanted to talk particularly about phone numbers and why phone numbers have become such a priority and a target for fraudsters, I think.
Yes, we think of it in terms of the 4 R's. So there's risk, regulation, relevance, and revenue. So there's a risk to all businesses, right, with bad actors now trying to enter the marketplace, resulting in regulation. And this goes across industries. You look at banking regulation, e-commerce regulation, and communications regulation. The relevance is the phone number becomes the most relevant source or method of identifying an individual or identifying a business. And revenue, it's to protect revenue as well as generate new revenue opportunities for the communications providers as well.
Yeah, that absolutely. Those are very good points you make. And those 4 R's, the risks, the regulations, the relevance and the regulation, I mean, it's key to any businesses, but any business. But there must be challenges in there. What are the challenges for the businesses and consumers both?
Sure. So the challenges for the businesses are knowing who the consumers are or whether or not they are who they claim to be. The amount of fraud that goes into everything from banking. So what's happened is we've evolved with mobility and number portability where the phone or the phone number has become the key identity for people. It's how we identify someone. So if you call to get a repair service, they're going to ask, what's the phone number associated with your account? It's a primary index. And it's more relevant than your name. You know, I have an apostrophe. A lot of computer systems don't recognize it. Addresses aren't consistent. Email addresses change. So the phone number has become the key index for digital identity for how businesses identify people. Vice versa, when people interact with a business or a brand, they want to know, how do I know it's really the business who is I'm expecting to contact me? Is it really my bank?
Yes.
Is it really the appliance store trying to deliver something to my house that I'm expecting, right? And so how do you make sure that both people can trust the communication they're getting over their phone numbers? The phone number, again, becomes the key way for identity, and that creates opportunity for the operators. It creates opportunity for the ecosystem to maintain that relevance and participate in building that trust.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, with such a widely adopted identifier, there are clear risks associated with that and clear potential for fraud. So how do you help businesses overcome some of those challenges?
So we help businesses by giving them that access to those key indicators. A great example would be in fintech, right? If someone is trying to do a very large money transfer and it's not in their normal pattern of how they behave in their banking relationship, if they can also check and say, gee, they just ported their phone number to a different operator or even a different type of network. So it just went from a mobile network to a VoIP network and they changed providers. That could be a key indicator that there's fraud going on. Someone's trying to take over because the phone number and the mobile device has become so relevant that it becomes a key vector of attack for fraud in other market segments. E-commerce is the same sort of thing, right? So e-commerce, how do you know that the person making the purchase is really that person? You know, I've gotten it where you get the alert saying, here's your 6-digit code from Amazon for your account. And quite often it could be someone trying to break into your Amazon account as well.
Right, so it's very much about expanding the scope of the parameters that you're looking at just to make sure that fraudulent activity isn't taking place.
Exactly, it's using that key identity. We give our phone number out freely, but it's also used as a key identifier for who we are. And so it's how do you protect that, but also how do you leverage that information? How do you provide access to history about the phone number in order to use that as a signal, right? So all of the different analytics engines can use that as a signal to indicate whether or not they can trust a transaction.
Okay, that's really interesting and clearly a crucial part of the development as we become ever more digitalized and lead more virtual lives.
Exactly. As the market expands, as new threats enter, you want to look for what's a reliable source of information and identity you can find about people or about businesses. Great.
Mike O'Brien, iconectiv, it's been really interesting to speak to you. Thank you for your thoughts.
Really appreciate the time. Thanks, Jim.